and welcome to Grand Cuisine. Today on Grand Cuisine, we are making a few items for our Passover Seder. We're going to do a grimslach, which is a dessert that consists of raisins and apples and nuts and matzah. It's almost similar to a charoset, only it is actually a baked cookie. We're also going to make matzah gress soup, which is similar to a matzo ball soup. Both of these recipes come from the Jewish cookery book of 1871, the first Jewish American cookbook to be published. So I hope you'll join us. So to make our grimslach, we're going to use 4 ounces of butter or other shortening. We're going to use 1 piece of matzah, 3 apples that are peeled and then diced, what is 2/3 of a cup or 4 ounces of brown sugar, 4 ounces of almonds, 4 ounces of currants, 4 ounces of raisins, the zest of a lemon, a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and then 2 eggs. So let's go ahead and dice our apples. I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to cut straight down into planks about 1/4 of an inch all the way around, and I'll get generally 2 planks per each side. And then I'm going to take those and I'm going to stack them up, and I'm going to cut once again 1/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to cut those into a dice. Real simple, super easy, and will give us a real nice finished look for our cookie pastries. So now that we've finished dicing all of our apples, we are ready to begin making our batter. So I'm going to start by soaking my matzah in some water. I'm just going to break it up and just let it soak right in that water. I'll put that aside. I've got my 4 ounces or 1/2 cup of butter that I'm going to stir in. I'm going to add in my 2/3 cup of brown sugar and just stir that together. Now you certainly, if you're not pretending you're from 1870, you can use a mixer to do this, or you can do it by hand. It's fairly simple and straightforward. Then I'm going to add in all my other ingredients, my almonds, my currants, raisins, my cinnamon, nutmeg, my apples, and I'm going to stir that together. And it really smells like charoset. So it really is appropriate for Passover, for Pesach. So there we go. And now I'm going to grate 1 lemon into this. So just take the zest right off there. You can also use a zester, or another trick, you can actually take saran wrap and wrap it around the grater right here, and then grate the lemon against the saran wrap, and the grate will go through, but the saran wrap will stay, and then it's much easier to clean off your grater. there we go. Now we're going to add in 2 eggs. And mix those in. And then we will be ready to add in our soaked matzah. So I'm going to break up that matzah into as small pieces as I can. So this really almost turns into what is similar to like a granola bar. So it's a very interesting texture. So I'm going to mix that together. And there we go. And then you can, if it looks a little loose, you can actually take some prepared matzah meal, maybe up to half a cup, sprinkle that in and add that to it, just so it tightens it up a little bit. So Mrs. Levi suggests that we portion these out into ovals, and either we fry them or we bake them. So I've chosen to bake these. So I'm going to portion this out into ovals, just kind of spoon them out, and then we will kind of put them together. So I get about 16 nice size, maybe 2-inch ovals. You can certainly make smaller ones. You can certainly make rounds. And this will, as you allow this mixture to sit, it will tighten up even more because that matzah meal will soak in all of that liquid. So there we go. Let's actually leave that. And we will just tighten these up by kind of pushing them together into ovals. We're then going to put them into a 350 oven, and we're going to bake them for about 15 to 18 minutes until they are firm and we can easily move them. So for our matzah kli soup, Esther is a little vague on some of this, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this together. The first thing that we do is we soak some matzah in water. And we're going to add that to our water. And then I've taken some onion and I have cooked that, sauteed it, and I'm going to put that into a bowl. And then I'm going to add to it about 2 eggs. There we go. 2 eggs. Couple of tablespoons of chopped parsley. Some salt. Maybe half a teaspoon. Some pepper. Maybe a 1/4 teaspoon. And then about a cup of matzah meal. And I'm going to stir that all together. We're really making what is traditionally a mixture for matzo balls. And then we're going to add to this our soaked matzahs. I'm going to crumple those up real well. And you can put up to 2 matzahs in here. Get that real combine. And then this will make the mixture for our matzo balls. So I would let this sit for a good 15 minutes to just let that matzah kind of absorb everything and soak up into it. And then we're ready to take it to our boiling water so that we can make our matzah balls. So to make my matzah balls, I'm going to wet my hands and I'm going to roll my matzah balls, put them on a plate, make them about 1 inch in diameter. Now, there's no doubt these look like homemade matzo balls. So let's go ahead and let's add our matzo balls to our boiling water. I'm going to add these right in. And then although Esther Levi does not tell us to cover this, I'm going to follow what has been general protocol with matzo balls. And we're going to cover this and we're going to allow them to cook for right about 10 minutes. So we'll let those cook, covered just like that. Of course, we are using a wood cook stove, just like Mrs. Levi would have done. It's very interesting. In her book, Jewish Cookery, she gives lots of information on kashrooting. She also gives a lot of information on how to instruct domestic servants to serve the items that you have prepared. So it's a very, very interesting book filled with soups, many meat dishes, and of course, many, many sweets and baked items, as is generally found in Jewish cookbooks. So we're going to let this cook. We've got some wonderfully flavored chicken soup that is also heating up. She instructs us to use just a standard soup recipe as you would make. Many of the recipes incorporate not only chicken, but also like brisket. And so it's almost like a beef and chicken combo. So we're just going with chicken right now. And when this is done, we'll give it a taste. Cool. And so here we are with our matzah grist soup that has wonderful, flavorful matzah balls in it, and then also our grimslach, which is a combination of apples and nuts and raisins that have all baked up into this kind of wonderful, soft cookie with overtones of a granola bar. Certainly not crunchy at all, but a really, really good flavor. These actually bake for probably 20-25 minutes in our wood cook stove. It might bake up a little bit quicker for you in a standard stove of 350 degrees. So let's go ahead and let's try our soup. The matzo balls are wonderfully flavorful. They have that really that European flavor of lots of onion and just a real good heartiness. They're a little bit on the heavier side. Of course, there's lots of jokes about matzo balls and being heavy or lighter. And these are a little bit perhaps heavier, but they really have a wonderful, wonderful aroma. So they have a great flavor, and they really are kind of a upscale tradition to what is the normal matzo ball that you might find in a package that you're making from scratch. So same thing here. These are our cookies. So they have almost kind of a softness to them, and they really are good. These would be wonderful. Big bite with some sherbet, or even a anglaise sauce, maybe a sabayon. If you're trying to stay to a meat meal, where we use shortening in these, you could do an egg yolk, sugar, wine, sabayon, tad over this, maybe some fresh fruit, but really, really good. So, 2 unique recipes for Passover from Esther Levi of the Jewish Cookery Book, the very first Jewish cookbook in America. So we thought that was a fun topic to entertain, and we'll return to this book in time with some other recipes. So until then, thank you so much for being with us. Please subscribe. The more people we have, the better. We're looking for more and more people to join us, and we want it to be you. So have a great day, have a good holiday, and great cooking to you.